So the thing about World of Warcraft is people used to really care about that game. And even when the game was getting bad, people still really cared about it. They would check in, they would root for it, they would hope it would get better. And then something happened. Something finally snapped. Where people, they stopped caring altogether. They didn't care if the game was good or bad or baloney. It didn't matter. People moved on. When I was in high school, I had my first ever love. And fortunate for me, I ended up dating this girl. You know, head over heels, butterflies in my stomach, the whole shebang. And one night she calls me over. She says, ring, ring, hello. I say, what's up? She says, yo, come over. We need to bake a cake. I'm like, okay. I get over there, crack open some eggs. We bake this cake, put it in the oven. Wait, take it out of the oven. We bake a cake. Once we were done, she says, I'm breaking up with you. I said, what? Why? That's random. She says, you know, I'm kind of over it. It's been 5 months. We're finishing up high school. I'm going to go to some college. You're going to go to some college. It's time to move on. This was the love of my life. I was not having it. I was not happy. I say, okay. And then I leave her house. I'm driving home and, you know, I'm shaking a little bit. I'm devastated. I'm in high school. This was my first relationship. This was my first breakup. I wasn't used to these emotions. A cop pulls me over. He comes over to the door of the car. He says, hello? I say, what? He says, why are your lights off? I say, sorry, let me turn them on. My bad. He says, why are you shaking so much? I say, I just broke up with my girlfriend. He says, sus. I see a bag over there in the back of the car. What's in the bag? I say, nothing, officer. He says, can I look? I say, yup. So he goes to the back of the car and he takes out the bag and he looks inside of the bag. And it's my literal deacon gown that I used to be a deacon at church. I'm like, yeah, you feel stupid? He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Have a good day. I'll see you. Make sure to turn your lights on. Have a good day. So the moral of the story is I was a devastated young man. And what happened was I grieved for a couple months. 4 months, 5 months. 5 months later, ring, ring, hello. It's my ex. She says, can I come over? I said, nah. You get over it. That's what happens. You love a thing. The thing goes wrong. Something goes awry. You get time away from it. You're doing other things. You get new hobbies. You get new friends. And you're over it. And that's exactly what happens with World of Warcraft on YouTube, right? There is this metric that YouTubers worry about. It's called click-through rate. And what it means is how many people click on your video. How many people click on your thumbnail, they click on your title, right? And so a lot of YouTubers obsess about getting click-through rate higher. And so they're trying to think about it. They're like, okay, like how do I do my title? How do I do my thumbnail? How can I, make this more clickbaity? How do I get this to work? And one thing that people never talk about that is the most important factor for click-through is how much your audience liked your previous video. That's what Blizzard messed up. It's cool that you got better thumbnails. It's cool that you got better titles. It's cool. But if over and over again, your audience watches a video they don't like about you, it doesn't matter what you do. And you could have some like bumblefuck whatever the fuck thumbnail and some whatever title. And if they liked your previous video, they're more likely to click it. So the number one factor for click-through rate is how much they like the video. That's what Blizzard messed up. They put out an expansion. People clicked. They bought it. They didn't like it. They put on expansion. Less people click. They didn't like it. They put on expansion. Right? So Blizzard is over here wondering, why aren't people playing our expansion? It's because they didn't like the last one. You messed up. Right? So how do we get here? How do we get in this position? Kevin Jordan. Talk about him all the time on my channel. One of the original game designers on Vanilla World of Warcraft. He has a quote. He says that fear is the enemy of love. Blizzard is scared. They're scared with the way that they're designing the game. And all of their decisions are dictated from a place of fear of the reception of their design choices, for the reception of their cinematics, the reception of their lore, they're scared, they're fearful. And so they cannot design from a place of love, from a place of passion. And there's a couple of reasons for this. A while back, there's this streamer named Hassan, right? Hassan streams, and at that time, the game Harry Potter was coming out, the new Harry Potter game that he said that he was too afraid to play because, there was some drama going on at the time with J.K. Rowling. There was some had some political charge, so this game was politically charged. And so Hassan said, I don't want to play my game because my audience might cancel me. So what does that have to do with Blizzard? Recently, Blizzard put out some new tier sets. One of these tier sets was a wizard tier set. It had a little wizard hat, it had a wizard gown. And a lot of people came out there on social media and said, hey, Blizzard, this set is racist. This is like, the K times 3, racist. Take a look at the set. I'll put it on the screen. Does this look racist to you? But this is what Blizzard gets. This is the audience that they've cultivated over the years. Over the past few years, they've made design choices. They've made choices in the lore. They've made choices in their storytelling that attracted a certain type of person. And that's who's playing the game. And this is what they get. Now they're scared to kind of step out of those boundaries because it might piss people off. And there are other reasons for it. Remember back in WoD when the Garrisons came out? Yeah, that didn't go well for them. Remember when Torghast came out? Yeah, that didn't go for them either. So they're worried, they're afraid of taking risks because in the past, when they've taken risks, the risks didn't go as planned. It didn't go in their favor. So what's the result of this fear? What have we got in here? We got the sterile game. It's designed sterilely, right? We have the sterile story. One of my friends, he's a huge EVE Online player. He loves EVE Online. It's this MMO. He loves sending me screenshots. Every time he sends me a screenshot from EVE, I have no idea what the hell is going on the screen. You've got numbers, you've got dots, you've got circles, you've got shapes. There's no people in it. There's no fighting in it. When I watch a game of CSGO and I see them running around with their guns and they're shooting and they're I know what's going on. I play CSGO, but I'm not a huge CSGO player. But even someone who doesn't play CSGO can kind of watch that and understand what's going on. Not so with EVE. Why do I bring up EVE? I bring up EVE because while EVE is a game that is highly impersonalized, it's about spaceships, it's about, galaxies and spreadsheets. It's not a personal game in much of the same way, even though the lore of WoW does have characters. The characters are rather impersonal. We don't feel a connection with the characters in the way that we might have in the past. Remember that Varian cinematic in Legion? Arthas? Sylvanas back in the day? Jaina? Thrall? We cared about these characters. These characters were people. They were real people with real faults, with real feelings, with real motivations. Not the jailer. Right? And so the characters became impersonal because if you give them some personality, that might piss people off. If they're a little edgy, if they're a little rough around the edges, if they have opinions, people might be pissed off. We gotta keep it sterile. We gotta keep it, rated G for everybody. And then you have this problem as well, right? Look at its biggest competitor, WoW's biggest competitor, Final Fantasy XIV. You have the warrior of light. He's running around. She's running around. They're the hero of the story. WoW never used to be like that. WoW, you were kind of like some bumblefuck nobody running around in the world. You weren't the hero. But Final Fantasy story works. So why now, in retail WoW, despite the character, you, the player, being the hero, it doesn't work out for WoW? And I'll tell you why. It's because in Final Fantasy XIV, you as the hero have a background. You're an Eorzean. You love Eorzea. You've been fighting for Eorzea from day one. And no matter what threat comes along, At the end of the day, you're doing this for your hometown, Eorzea. That is not the case in World of Warcraft. You run around in the Shadowlands, who gives a fuck? You run around in Dragonflight, like you're just some random stranger. You know, you're some random stranger being a tourist in some random place with some random people who have some random problems that you don't give a fuck about. Because why would you? It's not your hometown, man. So, so there's that. Okay. We also have, because of their fear of designing the game, their fear of innovating, the problem of just the reskinning systems. You know, you have some system from Legion, and then people like it or don't like it for whatever reason, and then they just iterate on it and they rename it. You know, maybe one day it's Anima, then it's AP Power, then it's whatever it is in Dragonflight. I haven't played that since like its launch. Okay, so they're taking the same like systems fundamentally, and they're reskinning them, and we get the reskin. Where's the innovation at though? Like we get the reskin, but where's the innovation? Here's what else their fear is doing: bloat. You know what would make the game better? Delete add-ons, delete them, all of them. It adds bloat to the game and makes it hard for new players to come into, and you have to now design the raids around the add-ons. You have to design the raids around the DBM. You have to design the raids around Heleki, the add-on that literally tells you what to press at every second. You have to delete them. It's easy, you just delete the API. But they won't do it because they're scared. Why are they scared? Because they know that people are not going to like that. So out of fear of doing the right design choice for their game, they're going to be afraid because some high-end raiders are going to be unhappy because their add-ons are taken. And yes, people are going to get mad. People are going to be mad when you take away the add-ons, but it's going to be better for the long run of the game. But they're designing out of fear, not love. Right? This bloat also shows in items. If you take away items, people are like, wow, I can't collect that anymore, blah, blah, blah. They're afraid of taking stuff away from their players. And it is harming the game. And so, therefore, we don't care. So what's the solution? I'll tell you what the solution is. In Dragonflight, they've been putting out a patch about every 8 weeks. And this is good. And they expected that this was going to kind of help save the game. And it has done a good job at retaining the few players who are still currently playing the game, but it is not bringing back the ones who've lapsed like us. Right? But they're putting out content pretty frequently. The problem with the content they're putting out is, like I've said, it is stale. Now, when they used to take risks with Garrison, with Torghast, with these, new things like the Legion Tower, which actually worked out for them, they were in a situation where they were also in a content drought. When the Garrison came out, what was the problem with WoD? What was the biggest problem? Lack of content. What was one of the biggest problems with Shadowlands? Lack of content. But now they're putting out content, but it's sterile. So how about this? You put out content that is also innovative, that is also risky, and if it doesn't work, delete it and learn from it. See why it didn't work. See what people don't like about it, and iterate quicker. They have the speed now. They're going, a patch every 8 weeks. That's good. But now you need to add the innovation to that. Innovate. People might not like it. Switch it. Change it. Don't wait 5 months. Don't wait 7 months like you used to. Don't wait 12 months. Change it by the next patch that's coming out 6 weeks from now. And then maybe that doesn't work out either. Change it again. Change it again. Keep changing. Keep learning. Try and learn. There's this saying from the early days of Facebook: fail fast, fail often. And that is true for entrepreneurship. That is true for business. Adapt. Try it. Didn't work. Try something else. Didn't work. Try something else. And do it quickly. Do it quickly so you can learn. And the more failures you have, the more lessons you can learn, the better you can make the game. So they need to combine those two things. They didn't have the speed, but they had the innovation. That didn't work. Now they have the speed, they don't have the innovation. That's not working. Combine them. And that's why people don't care about World of Warcraft anymore.